There's something magical about gathering a few close friends in one room, snacks scattered across the table, phones buzzing with excitement, and the familiar hum of a TV setting the mood. You're not watching a movie. You're not even playing a traditional console game. You're about to dive into Sunderfolk, a cooperative, turn-based tactical RPG that feels as if someone distilled the best parts of tabletop gaming and poured them lovingly into a digital format. But don't expect another high fantasy slog wrapped in arcane systems and 300-page rulebooks. This game is something else, something special. At first glance, Sunderfolk might not scream innovation. You've got your anthropomorphic animal characters, a village in peril, a handful of mystical classes, and a looming threat seeping in from the world beyond. It's the kind of premise that might sound familiar to genre veterans, but the way it's executed makes all the difference. Sunderfolk, the debut game from indie studio Secret Door, doesn't just ask you to play a character. It wants you and your friends to inhabit them, strategize together, and laugh uncontrollably as you push, teleport, trap, or accidentally roast each other on the battlefield. And all of this happens while controlling everything from your phone. This is where Sunderfolk plants its flag. One person buys the game on PC or console, launches it, and is greeted with a QR code. Everyone else, up to 3 more players, scans that code with their mobile device using the free Sunderfolk controller app, and voila! Your group is now assembled, your battlefield awaits, and you didn't have to untangle a single controller wire or navigate a hardware pairing menu. What starts as a novelty quickly becomes second nature. The phone-based UI is crisp, intuitive, and deceptively powerful. You're tapping your abilities, inspecting enemy stats, managing cards, upgrading gear, and guiding characters across a hex-based battlefield with a few finger swipes. It doesn't just work, it excels. The heart of Sunderfolk is its blend of combat and campaign. The story centers on Arden, a charming little village that rests atop deposits of Brightstone, a rare magical resource that just so happens to attract all sorts of creepy things. Unsurprisingly, your party is tasked with defending the town from the ever-growing threats that encroach from the dark woods and beyond. You do this by selecting a class, 1 per player, and embarking on a 20 to 30-hour journey told across 3 distinct acts. What immediately stands out is how little fat there is. There's no filler, no level grinding, and no throwaway side quests. Every mission is designed with intent, often featuring unique objectives or environmental twists that force players to think creatively. This creative spark is where Sunderfolk absolutely sings. Each of the 6 available classes brings something unique to the battlefield. The Pyromancer, for example, thrives on building and absorbing flame, sometimes turning the entire combat zone into a tactical bonfire. The Berserker plays the role of a brawler and damage sponge, taunting enemies and holding the line. The Rogue skitters across the map, dealing pinpoint damage and slipping away before retaliation. Meanwhile, the Arcanist can warp allies and enemies across the map like a master chess player shifting pieces mid-match. The Bard and Ranger round out the party with support abilities and ranged prowess. These class identities aren't just superficial, they're baked into the mechanics in meaningful ways. Each player's toolkit consists of a hand of cards representing actions and abilities, all of which can be upgraded or swapped as the campaign progresses. There's no traditional spell or ability bar here. Instead, each turn is an opportunity to chain together actions, consider positioning, exploit synergies, and set up your teammates for greatness. It's not uncommon for players to spend 5 minutes planning a single round, debating the best order of operations, and erupting into cheers or groans, depending on how the dice, or rather fate deck, falls. The fate deck is one of the most compelling additions to Sunderfolk's combat. Every major action, an attack, a powerful ability, a special maneuver, draws from this hidden stack of modifiers. Some cards add extra damage, others offer buffs, let you act again, or occasionally throw a wrench in your plans. It's a mechanic that adds just the right amount of unpredictability to keep things spicy without ever feeling unfair. Even better, these moments often lead to impromptu laughter, dramatic comebacks, or impassioned cries of betrayal when that +3 damage modifier shows up just a second too late. What makes these moments resonate is the sense of true cooperation. Unlike many so-called co-op games where players just happen to be working in parallel, Sunderfolk thrives on genuine teamwork. Turn order is flexible. You can act in whatever sequence makes sense for the situation. There's a built-in coordination system that lets you ping the battlefield, suggest actions, or call out enemies with a tap of your finger. You're not just playing a game, you're co-authoring a strategy in real time. The result is a flow of gameplay that feels alive, reactive, and uniquely personal. That personal touch is more than mechanical. One of Sunderfolk's silliest and most endearing features is its naming mechanic. During certain moments in the game, players are prompted to name NPCs, buildings, or even monster types. These names persist through the entire campaign and are used in dialogue, giving your story a strange, often hilarious identity. A simple mission to escort a friendly beetle suddenly becomes an unforgettable chapter when said beetle is named Nacho Libre, and he must be guided across a perilous arena of fire and monsters while players shout things like, "Save Nacho!" and "He's got the cheese!" This charm extends into the game's visual design as well. Sunderfolk's art style is vibrant, colorful, and welcoming. Characters are lovingly drawn animal folk in cloaks and armor, with personality bursting from every animation. The UI is crisp and readable, even on smaller phone screens. The battlefields are varied enough to stay fresh and offer new tactical considerations, from tight choke points to wide-open kill zones. And while the story itself isn't groundbreaking, it's serviceable and peppered with moments of genuine humor and heart. Outside of combat, the village of Ardun serves as your base of operations. Here, players can upgrade their shops, craft gear, unlock story beats, and engage in small roleplay moments. There are light relationship mechanics with villagers, side narratives tied to each class, and enough flavor to make Ardun feel like a living place rather than a menu hub. All of this, once again, is managed through your mobile device. That's the magic trick Sunderfolk pulls repeatedly. It takes the type of complex systems you'd normally associate with deep RPGs and distills them into bite-sized, finger-friendly interactions that remain satisfying and robust. That said, Sunderfolk isn't without its quirks. The touchscreen controls, while generally excellent, can occasionally be finicky, especially when plotting movement paths on crowded maps. Playing online requires a bit more effort, since the game doesn't feature built-in netcode. Instead, the host must stream their screen via Discord, Steam Remote Play, or console-specific options. This isn't ideal, and the experience varies based on your internet connection. Still, when played in the same room as clearly intended, Sunderfolk shines brighter than many two-way co-op titles. And with no grind, no paywalls, and no meaningless filler, it's refreshingly respectful of your time. Perhaps the most remarkable aspect of Sunderfolk is how well it lowers the barrier to entry. Traditional tabletop games can be intimidating for newcomers, with thick manuals, arcane rules, and long setup times. Sunderfolk sidesteps all of that. If someone in your friend group has even a passing interest in tactics, fantasy, or storytelling, this is a perfect gateway. The learning curve is gentle, the feedback is immediate, and the victories feel communal in a way that few games achieve. You'll start playing for the strategy, but you'll keep playing for the memories. The inside jokes, the shared triumphs, the failed teleport that accidentally sends a berserker into the middle of a fire trap. By the end of your campaign, your group won't just remember the missions. You'll remember the weird beetle you saved, the shop you named Walmart, the moment 3 players comboed their abilities to clear an entire arena in a single round. These aren't just features, they're stories. And stories, as any tabletop veteran will tell you, are what keep you coming back. Sunderfolk isn't perfect, but it doesn't have to be. What it offers is a lovingly crafted, deeply engaging cooperative experience that's more than the sum of its parts. It's a celebration of camaraderie, tactics, and low-stakes chaos. Whether you're a D&D veteran looking for a lighter alternative, a casual gamer seeking something new, or a group of friends wanting to rekindle the spirit of game night, Sunderfolk deserves a place on your screen and in your hearts.